she snapped at me in front of her friends. "You can't even satisfy me, let alone provide for me." I just smiled, paid the bill for myself, and walked out. That night, she showed up crying, but my new girl opened the door. Hey folks, quick pause here. Over 14% of you are already subscribed, and honestly, that means the world to me. If you're new and enjoy these kinds of stories, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000, so join the family. Alright, now back to the story, and trust me, it gets wild. My ex, Samantha, and I had been dating for about 8 months. I'm 26, she's 25. At first, things were good, but over the last few months, she got more and more demanding, especially about money, and she started making snide comments about my lifestyle. See, I work as an electrician. I run my own company, and honestly, I do really well. But Sam? She always acted a little embarrassed whenever people asked what I do. She worked as a full-time supervisor at a luxury clothing store downtown, surrounded by expensive stuff every day. We lived together in my house, a place I actually own outright. We'd been living together for about 4 months. But recently, Sam started saying things like, maybe we should move into a bigger house or a better neighborhood. Everyone at work has those new high-rise apartments, Alex. They're so much nicer than this. Babe, this place is already paid off. Why would we go somewhere we'd have to pay rent? Because it's not just about money. It's about lifestyle. Things really went downhill when she started hanging out with this group of girls from her work. All of them were dating guys with office jobs. Suddenly, Sam was embarrassed about being with an electrician. Why can't you just get a normal job like everyone else? Sam, I own my business. I actually make more than most people. It's not about money. It's about what people think. I should have ended it right there, but I thought she'd snap out of it. Last Friday, she texted me. She wanted to go to this new fancy restaurant downtown, the kind of place where one steak costs $40. I said sure, even though that's not really my scene. Then she added, "Oh, by the way, I invited Rachel and Chloe from work and their boyfriends. You'll finally get to meet them." Red flag. But I went anyway. Saturday night, we show up. Rachel and Chloe arrive with their guys, exactly what you'd picture. Button-down shirts, bragging about their office jobs and investment portfolios. This is my boyfriend, Daniel. He works in digital marketing. This is Chris. He's in corporate finance. Then it's my turn. This is my boyfriend, Alex. Sam said flatly. He runs a maintenance business. Maintenance business. Not electrical company. Maintenance business. The whole dinner was awkward. Halfway through, Daniel starts bragging about a vacation he's planning. Bermuda. All-inclusive. Gonna be amazing. That sounds incredible, Sam gushed. Alex and I never do stuff like that. I just looked at her. We literally talked about Costa Rica. You said you wanted to wait until summer. That's different. That's not like a real vacation. It spiraled from there. Sam kept comparing me to her friends' boyfriends. Finally, in front of everyone, she snapped. Alex, you can't even satisfy me, let alone provide for me. The table went dead silent. Rachel and Chloe gasped. Daniel and Chris looked like they'd just tuned into free cable drama. That's when I laughed. Funny. You think these guys are more successful than me? I looked straight at them. Daniel, what's your salary? He hesitated. Up about 70 grand. Chris? 85. Cool. Then I dropped it. I made $165,000 last year. The whole table froze. Sam's face turned red. Money isn't everything. She mumbled. You literally just said I can't provide for you. Which is it? She didn't answer. So I asked for the check. $150 for 6 people. I paid my share, about $40, stood up, and said, "Thanks for dinner, everyone. Good luck covering the rest." And I walked out. That's where things took a massive turn. I got home, sat on my couch, and just stared at the wall. The girl who had been living in my paid-off house, eating food I bought, sleeping in a bed I paid for, just told strangers that I couldn't provide for her. Around 11 p.m., my phone started buzzing. Samantha. Alex, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Rachel had to lend me money for my part of the dinner. Can you send me back my share? Please, answer me. I'm getting an Uber home. We need to talk. I didn't reply. She came home around midnight, tried to knock on my door, but I locked it. Sunday morning, she was gone. Left a note, staying at Rachel's for a few days while you cool off. Later that afternoon, I stopped by the hardware store for supplies. That's when I heard a voice. Alex? Oh my God, is that you? It was Emily, a girl I knew from high school. We hadn't seen each other in years. She'd just moved back to town, working as a nurse at the hospital. We stood in the parking lot talking for nearly an hour. She was funny, sharp, and grounded, the total opposite of Sam. Hey, we should grab coffee sometime, she said. I'd like that, I replied. We exchanged numbers. Monday, while I was at work, Sam came by and grabbed more of her stuff. Left another note about needing time. Tuesday, Emily and I went for coffee. We talked for 3 hours. About work, family, dreams, the future. When I told her I owned my business, her eyes lit up. That's amazing, Alex. Starting something on your own takes guts. Thanks. It's treated me well. Plus, you're helping people. When my sink backed up last year, I would have paid anything to get it fixed fast. Her reaction? The complete opposite of Sam's. Wednesday, Emily came over for dinner. I grilled burgers. We watched a movie. She looked around my house and said, Alex, this place is beautiful. You own all this? Yeah. Bought it 3 years ago. That's incredible. Most people our age are still renting tiny apartments. I smiled. One of the perks of getting into business early. Thursday, Sam texted. Can we talk? I ignored it. Friday, she called my mom, actually crying on the phone. When I talked to my mom later, she was laughing. Some girl named Sam called me, saying she made a huge mistake and needs you back. What did you say? I asked. I told her if she's embarrassed about a man who owns his own home and business, then she deserves what she got. Then I reminded her that my son was raised better than to chase people who don't appreciate him. Mom, you didn't. Oh, I absolutely did. Saturday, Emily and I went to a nice restaurant. A real date. She looked stunning. Conversation was effortless. At one point she asked, "So, what happened with your last relationship?" I chuckled. She was embarrassed about my job. Thought being with an electrician wasn't impressive enough. That's ridiculous. You're successful, hardworking, what more could someone want? Apparently, a corporate title. Her loss. When I dropped her off that night, she kissed me. First time in months I'd felt genuinely excited about someone. Exactly 1 week after the restaurant disaster. I was in my garage when the doorbell rang. I figured it was Emily, since we had plans. Instead, it was Sam. Crying. With 2 suitcases. "Alex, thank God you're home. I've been thinking all week. I know I can fix this." "Sam, what are you doing here?" "I'm here to apologize and move back in." "You can't just move back in." "Yes, I can. I talked to Rachel and Chloe, and they both said I was crazy for what I said." "So your friends had to tell you that you screwed up?" "That's not the point." "No, that's exactly the point. Alex, I love you. We can work this out. You love me now that you know I make good money?" "That's convenient." Before she could respond, another car pulled into my driveway. Emily. With takeout bags and a bottle of wine. She walked up smiling, then froze when she saw Sam crying on my porch. "Who's that?" Sam demanded. "That's Emily," I said. "Emily who?" "My girlfriend." Sam's face drained of color. "Your girlfriend?" "Yeah. We've been seeing each other." Emily walked up and kissed me lightly. "Hey babe. I brought Ty. Everything okay?" "Everything's fine," I said. Sam was just leaving. But Sam didn't move. "I'm not leaving until we fix this." "There's nothing to fix. You showed me exactly what you think of me. You respect me now that you found out I make more than your friends' boyfriends," I added. "That's not true." "That's exactly true. You were fine disrespecting me until you realized you looked foolish." Emily's eyes widened. "She disrespected your job?" "Among other things," I said. "Alex, I was wrong," Sam begged. "No. You were honest. You showed me who you are." She stood there, sobbing, with her suitcases, then finally dragged them back to her car and left. Emily and I went inside. She asked what all that was about. I told her the whole story. Her reaction was simple. "Wow. She sounds awful." Who says something like that to someone they claim to love? Someone who cares more about appearances than reality. Well, I think what you do is impressive. You built something from the ground up. That was 6 weeks ago. Emily and I are official now, and things are amazing. She brags to people about my business. She never makes me feel small. Sam tried calling a few more times, but I blocked her. Even Rachel later admitted most of their coworkers thought Sam was completely out of line. Last week, I even bumped into Daniel at the gas station. He looked embarrassed, but came over. Alex, about that dinner, man, I'm sorry. Honestly, I was impressed when you said what you make. Don't worry about it, I told him. Then he admitted. Sam's been miserable since the breakup. Moved back in with her parents. Couldn't afford her own place without you. So, she went from living in my paid-off house to moving back home. And me? I learned something important. Some people value image over substance. Sam wanted a boyfriend who sounded impressive, even if he couldn't actually provide what I could. Now, she's back in her parents' house. And I'm with someone who actually respects what I've built. Sometimes, the best revenge is just letting people deal with the consequences of their own choices.